Back in the summer of last year, I made a number of short Fallout videos because apparently short videos are where it's at. I eventually got to the topic of the cages in Springvale Elementary, and boy, what a rabbit hole that turned out to be. My intention with that video was to answer the question of why those cages were there. But in order to do so, it was necessary to cover the greater context of the school and the town it was located in. So what I had initially planned to be just a short and simple video on a very specific topic ballooned far beyond what I had intended. All the same, it fell short of being the comprehensive Springvale lore video it might have been. I rewatched it a few days ago, and I recognize there are a number of major flaws in how I made that video. I don't need to go into great detail explaining why. Just go ahead and watch it for yourself, and it will be obvious. So I will have to redo that video. You would think there wouldn't be so much to say about the town of Springvale, and yet that one video that was supposed to be so short and so simple resulted in several long videos covering the topic of Sarah Silver and Boppo, and it also led to what I consider to be a very significant discovery of mole rats being a food source for the raiders in the school. This led me to make what may be my greatest work to date, the shandification of mole rats. Isn't it amazing how this seemingly insignificant town of Springvale could spawn so many topics? I certainly never imagined this would be the case when I set off down this rabbit hole. Or perhaps we should call it a mole rat hole. But we're not done quite yet. While there isn't a whole lot more to say about it, I feel that this sign outside of Springvale Elementary is significant enough to warrant its own video because of the fact that it is a unique art asset within the game. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I can't think of a single other asset in Springvale that isn't copied and pasted somewhere else in the game. Unlike anything else you might find, this sign here is unique to this town and to this town alone. Even before Fallout 3 came out, it was possible to catch a glimpse of this sign in the E3 2008 Fallout 3 trailer, where it appears for about a second. I've got a dream. The sign doesn't actually tell us anything useful or relevant. It just talks about some mundane events which the school would have had in the month of November. But since the world ended in October, none of that ever came to pass. There was to have been a family reading night on November 16th, a school board meeting on the 21st, and an early dismissal on the 22nd.
Early dismissal, no school. So the day before the bombs dropped on October 23rd, the children of Springvale Elementary were dismissed from school early. Well, it's heartening to know that at least these children met the apocalypse at home with their parents.
No. Can't you read? The sign clearly says November. While I wish the sign did provide us with some useful information on the background or lore of this town, it unfortunately does not. Bethesda took the time to create this sign as a unique art asset, but then they failed to capitalize on it by doing anything useful with it. In other words, a microcosm of the entire Capital Wasteland. The sign could have given us some informative lore on what was going on around the time the bombs fell. In my old video about the cages, I suggested those cages could have been added to hold prisoners as the school was repurposed for the war effort. If this were true, the sign could have said something to support that theory. Alternatively, the sign could have been altered by the raiders that took over the school to say whatever they wanted it to say, such as a warning to outsiders to stay out, or a small lore dump about Boppo. This sort of thing could have also been a nice touch, But Bethesda did not go that route either. Signs are useful for conveying information. It could have provided a small dump of lore, but sadly, Bethesda wasted it. And why did they waste this opportunity? I'll let President John Henry Eden explain.
The answer is really quite simple. Incompetence. Incompetence at the highest echelons of power. We put our trust, our faith, in half-wits. Our intrepid leaders had everything they wanted: power, wealth, prestige. And it made them lazy, America. Oh, yes, and laziness breeds stupidity.
Well, I don't really have anything further to add. Was this a pointless video? Yeah, pretty much. But it gave me a quick and easy topic to make a video on, and hopefully that can help get the ball rolling again. I also want to take a moment to plug the upcoming remake of my video on the lore of Springvale. Like a wizard with an orb, I have pondered long and hard on the question of the kids in the cages, and after weighing and considering all of the available evidence, I've managed to come up with a new theory that will blow all previous theories clear out of the water. But you won't hear it on any other channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Hey, nifty America. It's me, President John Gotcha! Three Dog here. How's everyone doing? Let me ask you something, children. You hungry for some 200-year-old Salisbury steak?